End of the last video on fees, I got this far. I got a fees table all nicely set up with some validation and data types and so on, and I've been able to apply a fee to a student. This student here, Leo Schwarzel, owes $20. It was owed on the 16th of May 2019, so it's now overdue because zero has been paid so far. So we're going to look at setting up a bit of a form for dealing with fees, and it'll be the same stuff we've already done with subforms, just in this slightly different context. And we're going to do some queries and reports on this as well, a query and a report, I should say. So let's start by closing these down, and I'm going to create a form, and I'm just going to click on students first and click form, and it will just automatically do this. This isn't what I want yet. It's got some of the basics in place. So I'm going to go into design view. I'll do a couple of things that I would expect people to do anyway. So for example, this is about fees, not groups. So I'm going to actually delete anything to do with groups. We should make sure that we cater each particular form to the function which is relevant to. And then I could, if I wanted to, oops, don't know what happened there. What's that? Is that something? No, it's gone. All right, so anyway, so I've got his name and some other minor details. So I'm going to add in a subform for the fees. So make myself a little bit of room, go into design up here, and I think the subform is hidden on the second row. It's that one there. Yep, tooltip tells me that's what it is. And if I click and drag here, and I should get a little wizard pop up any moment. Here it comes. My mouse is flashing, which means that Access is thinking really hard about it. Any second now. Did I click it? I think I clicked it. Still waiting. I might just pause this a moment and see. Not quite sure what happened there. I just clicked it again and it just worked perfectly. It came up with this little dialogue it was supposed to. Anyway, here we go. So use existing table and query. Yep, because we're going to use the fees table. Definitely the fees table. I normally just grab all the fields. I can remove them later. Yep, happy with all of those. I probably won't want to see the fee ID, will I? That's the one field that probably doesn't need to be shown. So next, pretty much, if you set up the relationship correctly already, it will automatically set up the correct link here. So you take the default. So it's really important to set up the relationship. Click next, and that's going to be the name of the table fees subform. Is a good name. I like it a lot. For some reason it's resized it. I've got a feeling it's resized it to the wrong size, because look, it's cut that off. Why did it resize it? It was the right size before. Let's go and make it correct, shall we? So I'm going to make that a bit bigger both ways. That's nice. And I'm going to do obviously I don't want it to be called table students. I'm going to call it student fees. Just doing some of the obvious stuff that just makes it work, makes life easy. Student fees. So what have I got? I've got Leo Schwarzel has got a $20 fee owing on this date, and I can add more fees for him. So if I wanted to give him, say, a $40 fee, which is due in the future, which let's say 16th of the 5th again, but this time 2030. Ha. And again, not paid. I've got the student ID there. So I've got two fees outstanding, one of which has not yet been paid. Or I'm going to add one more. So a $20 fee again, which is due in the past, maybe 16th of the 5th, 2018. That's gone horribly wrong. So let's just try that again. 16th of the 5th, 2018. So this is a while ago, and again a $20 fee, maybe, whatever. And we're going to say amount paid 20. So it's actually paid that, because we're going to do some queries to pull up the fees which are outstanding. We can do a query, I should say. So that's lovely. Well, good enough for now anyway. I'm going to save that as not TBL students, but FRM student fees, because that's a descriptive name, and everything that we save, everything that is in this list on the left here, I should be able to look at it and have a pretty clear idea of what's in the table, form, query or report without actually having to open it up. I've noticed one or two people are really bad at that. Naming things is hard, but not that hard. So I wanted to do a query, and we know that for queries we go to design view, no wizards ever, and it's going to be a query on fees. I want to know which fees are overdue currently, but it might be useful to have some details about the student, such as their name. That'll do. So I'm going to go with the amount that is due and date due and amount paid. Let's have a look. I'm going to go with amount paid 0. That would be useful to know about, wouldn't it? All the ones that haven't yet been paid. But of course, for some of them, it's legitimate they've not yet been paid because they are due in the future. But while we're here, let's just check and see what that looks like. So we've got 2 out of the 3 which have not yet been paid. One of which is overdue because 16th of 2019 is in the past, and one of which is not yet due because it's due in 11 years' time by my calculations. So let's filter out the one that is not yet due. No, filter out the one that is overdue. That's correct. So I'm going to say where the date due is less than today's date. That's the function for today's date. And there we go. We've only got one and it's overdue right now. It would be nice to know the name, maybe the year level. We could have the tutor group. Should we bring that in? Why not? Let's throw in here the tutor group as well. So we need to get tutor groups, close, and get the tutor there. That might be useful information. Super. Let's save that as QRY fees overdue. Good name, descriptive, like it. And clicking on QRY fees overdue, I'm going to create a report. And the easiest thing to do is just click that button. And do we have to wait? Seems we have to wait. Not responding. Thinking very hard. It's been a theme of this video, hasn't it? Shall I pause again? Wait for it to... We're back. It did it. Looks like that. That's fine. We should go into design view. Of course, you should be looking at this and saying, oh, that's a horrible name or horrible title. Fees overdue is good. And in all honesty, everything else is good enough. You know, you can play around with the formatting. I don't really care about the formatting of reports as long as they're readable. Now, I'm going to save that as RPT. RPT fees overdue. And the last thing I'm going to do is have a button to open that report. So if I close that, go back to my form student fees, hop into design view here, and I'm going to add a button. Which one's a button? Is this a button? That's a button. And maybe put it right here. Good place for it. Wizard, report operations, open report, next. There's only one report, next. I'm good with that. Let's click finish, go into form view, and if I click my button, it will tell me all ones, not just Leo of course, but all the other students as well have got overdue. So there's quite a lot of good stuff in there and not that hard to do.